And you know, like that is what's going to, like that is going to develop a
So you're talking about
so then eventually that's going to end up that one, and then that is
You're welcome.
and everybody will be down out there instead of downtown. But for a business like yours, it would be, it would be a good opportunity. Like a retail business.
Or you.
And the other thing too, when we interviewed those guys.
Thank you. Burgess.
Here?
Caruso.
Here.
Shell.
Here.
Laurent.
Here.
Barnett.
Here.
Campbell.
Here.
Coe.
Here.
Medina. Here. Mr. Van Port Freely is excused. There is a quorum.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 3, approval of minutes from Tuesday, June 14th, 2022.
The minutes are before you.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 4. Number 1, our Tour de Trail presentation.
Please welcome Jason Peltier, owner of Oat Soda, and also our commissioner on the Paint Creek Trail.
Welcome.
Evening, everybody. Thank you for the introduction, Molly. Saves me some words. Many of you know we had a Tour de Trail on June 4th. It was a fundraising event to raise money for the Friends of the Paint Creek Trail, which helps the Paint Creek Trail function, you know, providing support monetarily to trail needs. We partnered with the commission on National Trail Days, which the Paint Creek Trail Commission always has a little tent set up in the park, so we thought we'd expand upon that and do a full trail expo, run, ride, and walk on the trail. It was a great day, great weather, which was amazing, so that did help. We had about 140 participants. About 39 youngsters were fitted with free helmets due to Lids for Kids, and other than the money that we raised, I think that's probably the best outcome of this event was that many kids getting needed helmets that are fitted properly so they can ride safely. To date, it's raised $2,937.53 to the Paint Creek Trail. And why I say to date, there are still t-shirts being sold and other things being reconciled. For a first time event, I think that's great, almost $3,000 raised, so we're pretty excited. We'll be looking forward to doing that again in the future. Will be a different date. June, the beginning of June was very crowded with a lot of other events. So we'll seek out other dates or perhaps 2 smaller dates throughout the summer. We'll see how that goes. We did have some great sponsorships throughout. Haney, I'm going to just name off some people to give them some recognition and thanks. Presenting sponsors, Haney Farm View Insurance. Building Custom Flooring, they almost sponsored twice because Debbie wasn't communicating with Dan, and she called me and wanted to write me a second check.
I just love writing those
I
checks.
almost got a second check out of you, Debbie. New Belgium Brewing, Cookies and Cream. Thank you, Elena, for your PA and monetary donation. That was the PA, the music made the day. If you need music, have Elena do your playlist. And of course, Main Street Bicycles. They provided a lot of support for bike needs. Other sponsorships, Donnie Steele, Goodison Vet Center, Silver Shamrocks, the Reard Family, Easy Bikes, Trent Creative, Spalding DeDecker, Global Solutions, Ed's Broadway Gifts, thank you, Lloyd, Primetime Comics, Heritage Spinning and Weaving, and Graphic Takeover. So that's pretty awesome. A good chunk of downtown businesses. In future, we hope to expand upon that. Had a couple customers at Oat Soda just hand over cash, which was awesome. Of course, all this couldn't be done without the support of the Pink Creek Trailways, the commissioners, and the trail manager, Melissa Ford. Of course, Lake Orion DDA helped through a lot of needs. Downtown dollars and fencing was contributed, and that allowed us to secure our space. And also with Lake Orion DPW providing some barricades that were well needed. So, and a special shout out to my wife Jen. Those of you who know her, nothing can be done in my world without her, and she rocked it out for us. MAB Graphics, Orion Art Center, Pink Creek Cider Mill, and Orion Township Parks and Rec were all involved as well. So see, this is a lot of people involved. We raised a lot of money, and I look forward to the future doing a lot more. That's all I got. Any questions or comments?
No, but thank you so much for all of the work that you and your wife put into this event so that it could be so successful. And as you said, you had 39 kids who were fitted for bike helmets. I mean, that's amazing.
That was awesome, yes.
I thought it was an awesome first-time event, and I know that we learned some things, and there's some things we want to, tweak for next year and
Yes.
do a little bit different. But it was an incredible day, and
Yes, we did scale this initial plan very large to anticipate a potential of 400 participants, knowing we probably wouldn't get that, but use this as a first-time learning curve, cross all the T's, dot all the I's, create a blueprint for future events so we can scale to that effortlessly.
How big was it? Okay. It wasn't for, how many were there?
We're at 140.
Cool.
So, some pre-registered, others day of, others just wandered in just to check out, what was happening. I know Donnie and a few others were just going to the park and say, hey, come on over with your kids, and so that worked out as well. Elena was, handing out ice cream. We had a beer tent and NA, regular beer, pop water, and a food truck as well. So it was
Excellent.
a nice event.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Our second presentation for the evening, our Common Citizen presentation. Welcome.
Welcome Jen Zielinski from Common Citizen. They have also recently become sponsors for the trolley through December 2022.
Hello, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to present to you on behalf of LIV and Common Citizen. As we have recently just opened our newest facility here in the village of Lake Orion. We're very excited. This has become a staple discussion back at headquarters. We all love Lake Orion. I am Jen Zielinski. I am also a Lake Orion resident. I have lived here since 1986 with a temporary hiatus to Clarkston for 10 years. I've never been far. So it's important to me that not only do we have access to cannabis here in Lake Orion, not only for medicinal reasons, but recreationally as well. But the company that's here representing in Lake Orion is unlike anything, unlike any company I've ever worked for, and unlike any cannabis company you'll find here in Michigan. And with that, I'm trying to figure out how to,
Play from beginning. Far left side says play from beginning. Yep.
how do I get it to go on full screen? Oh, I did, all right. Okay. So, pardon? Wish it. Yeah, wish it, that's right. Live is our storefront. That is predominantly the retail front for the locations that you will see. Common Citizen does have a couple of stores here throughout Michigan. Our flagship Common Citizen store is in Flint, Michigan, which is where our first location was. Since that time of our store opening in Flint, we have merged with Live, and Live is becoming our storefront, with Common Citizen becoming the branded product that we have available. Not only is our Common Citizen product available at all of our Live locations, but throughout other locations, different dispensaries, if you will, throughout the state of Michigan. So we commonly live to provide high-level customer service through compassionate and knowledgeable wellness advisors who strive to exceed our guests' expectations in offering quality products at competitive prices. We take pride in our inclusivity, proven accessibility, and continued education and overall cannabis care culture. Choose to live with us. So this is where we live. Again, Lake Orion being our newest location, we couldn't be more excited. Our first store was in Ferndale, Michigan, followed by Battle Creek and then Lansing. We're currently in the works to open stores by the end of the year in Detroit, Westland, and maybe Pontiac. That probably won't happen this year. Am I still on? You're okay. This is our farm in Marshall, Michigan. It's about 2 hours away, just southeast of Battle Creek. This is it's a 70-acre, state-of-the-art, highly technologically advanced greenhouse farm facility in Marshall, Michigan. We cultivate more than 60 unique strains of cannabis offered at retail in flower form, as well as extracted or in topicals, so on and so forth. As far as innovation, we are a controlled environment agricultural facility, and it's one of the most technologically advanced greenhouses in the Midwest. Everything is safe and legal. We adhere to the standards of the state and federal regulations, and even exceed that oftentimes. We were one of the first manufacturers to receive certification in good manufacturing practices, which is a quality standard of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. All of our cannabis is tested for any unapproved or harmful substances, and to require that they meet the threshold for CBD and THC concentrations in the different formats or products that are available. We operate sustainably, recycling much of our byproducts. All of the we reprocess our CO2 emissions, and our water is also recycled. We maintain the heat from the greenhouse to heat the rooms. Currently, we have 6 unique grow rooms, all containing 1 license, which a license, depending on if it's medical or recreational, is 1,500 or 2,000 plants, respectively. Our common mission, we exist for one simple reason: to unite people through the positive power of cannabis. We're not just another cannabis company. We call ourselves Common Citizen because we believe people matter above all else, and that the things that unite us are greater than our differences. We believe we all share a common experience of striving to be the best version of ourselves every day. Our mission isn't to sell products, it's to respond with compassion to the human condition. Terpenes plus humanity equal a common state. So what the heck is a terpene? Well, terpenes are the flavors and aromas contained within a plant. In cannabis research, and they're still unlocking the mysteries of the plant, it is commonly believed that the terpenes of the cannabis plant can predict the effects when consumed. We believe that by classifying and humanizing the core tenets of terpenes, we can enhance the human condition and humanity can thrive. We live to help the common citizen achieve their desired common state. So what's humanity got to do with it? Well, Wikipedia includes in its definition of humanity a virtue linked with basic ethics of altruism derived from the human condition. And as a core concept of the Red Cross's principles, they seek to prevent and alleviate human suffering wherever it may be found. We strive to achieve these humanitarian efforts and more. Our mantra is cannabis for humanity. It's not just a slogan, it's a belief. So live your common state. We have 4. They're all human-centered and purpose-driven, developed in a response to a fundamental need of the human condition. Daily Dose is just good wellness practice. It supports your everyday well-being. Sweet Relief is an alternative therapeutic for your everyday aches and pains. Unplug, I love the description of this one. Think of it as a temporary exit strategy, a timeout where you can chill out and re-emerge refreshed. And our last, Time to Shine, turn up the fun and into a deeper level of connection and explore new dimensions of familiar activities. There's more. Mike Tyson, for those of you that aren't aware, does have a cannabis company. I believe it's operated out of Nevada. We, with Common Citizen, with Tyson 2.0, have partnered, and we are the exclusive provider to Tyson products here in the state of Michigan. These products are starting to hit the shelves now, and we also have edibles on the way, and yes, they are in the shape of a bitten ear. He has a good sense of humor about himself. I thought that was fun. And now meet Principal. This is why I'm here. Principal is the next step in our mission of serving cannabis for humanity and the individual needs of our patients and adult use customers. We look forward to announcing further details about Principal and this first of its kind effort to help serve the communities we call home. This is from Michael Elias, our CEO and founding partner of Common Citizen. Our common principle to spark change, we believe the cannabis industry has a corporate social responsibility to bring out the best in people and communities and to create sustainable change in every aspect of life. Together, we have embarked on a mission to spark this change. With the launch of Principal, again, the first of its kind of a community reinvestment program, 100% of our profits from Principal sales are dedicated to our corporate social responsibility to spark change and meaningful opportunities in marginalized for marginalized communities, empowers us to build upon our goals for humanity, and allows us to bring quarterly Principal microgrant opportunities to you, the common citizen. Our corporate social responsibility has 5 different KPI factors figured into it: environmental, community involvement and development, diversity, equity, and inclusion, belonging, wellness and well-being, operating procedures and policy. Some of the corporate social responsibility KPI indicators are maintaining an increased diverse representation across all levels of our community, increasing the diversity of suppliers within our supply chain, developing 100% of leaders around diversity competence through training, create citizen culture groups to strengthen employee experiences, implement company-wide and paid community service opportunities addressing key community issues, invest in startup stage businesses owned by diverse entrepreneurs, support community-led initiatives that advance workforce development and entrepreneurship, incubation, job training, career readiness, and skill development, access to home ownership, community-led infrastructure improvements, the policy-making process at the state and local levels, and implementation of common care, which has not been implemented yet. We're in the stages of getting that rolled out, but it's a clinician-led wellness program that will help subsidize the cost of care and cannabis for qualified patients. We are aiming to reinvest 1.3 by 2023. These are the impact dollars that we are striving to attain from the sales of principles to benefit folks here in Michigan and the communities that we serve. The average capital raised by a failed startup led by white men, and the gap in capital raised by Black female founders. I'm sorry, that was a bit odd the way that rolled out. 1.3 million is short in those funding categories when you compare Black female founders to white men founders. So this is where that $1.3 million figure was derived from. So what's a principal microgrant? It's funding assistance and collaboration on projects in communities disproportionately impacted by outdated cannabis laws and to those communities we call home. Grants to applicants who demonstrate sustainable solutions, addressing immediate needs in their community with an emphasis on culture, startup incubator, and community impact. The For the Culture micro grant will support arts and culture initiatives such as concerts, film screenings, gallery exhibits, and fashion shows. The link between cannabis and the arts is clear, but public health research has confirmed that there is a positive relationship between creative expression and well-being. This microgrant supports community well-being by providing supplemental funding for art initiatives that are often first cut in budgeting. The Common Principle Startup Incubator and microgrants will support early-stage businesses through prototyping, mentorship, and industry access. As the largest vertically integrated cannabis producer in Michigan, we have access to a plethora of resources, including state-of-the-art manufacturing facilities and retail locations. This grant not only provides is not only available to help you prototype your idea, but you will also have access to tours, training, and coaching from our executive leadership team. Our Common Principle Community Impact Award will support nonprofit organizations and programs. These initiatives will provide services aimed at workforce development and entrepreneurship, including incubation, job training, career readiness, and skill development, increasing access to home ownership, supporting community-led infrastructure, and empowering voices in the policy-making process at the state and local levels, plus expungement. So how do you receive a principal microgrant? Will you apply for it? So what we're looking for in an application is a sustainable solution to a community need, and most interested in projects that advance community infrastructure, development, home ownership, access, workforce development, and entrepreneurship. Do the leaders of the organization reflect the community wherein the project takes place? What is the community engagement strategy for said project? What is the reach of the project or the impact within the community? Is there an opportunity for volunteerism? And does the project benefit communities or leaders from red line areas that have been disproportionately criminalized? Will it create meaningful process for the project? Unfortunately, our first launch of the principal micro grants, the application period closed on July 1st. These grants are going to be offered quarterly. Our next round of applications will open up in September through the beginning of October, and with awardees notified by Halloween. We're aiming to partner with 25 organizations per quarter. And if you're not selected during a round of applications, we'll provide feedback and invite you to apply again. These microfunding opportunities provide up to $5,000 each. And why $5,000? According to research on the wealth gap by Brookings, Black families are less likely to get $3,000 from family or friends. We're here to support and help them. While applications are welcome, organizations and initiatives targeting communities impacted by redlining and disproportionate criminalization are highly encouraged to apply. Our application and process for the application itself can be found at our website, Common Citizen, under the Principal tab or section. And my friend and colleague, Jess Jackson, who unfortunately wasn't able to make it tonight, is our social equity director, and she is a wealth of information and a huge resource in completing these applications prior to submittal. We strongly encourage qualified organizations and programs to apply for our micro grants, which provide Common Citizen with a unique opportunity to support and reinvest the diverse communities we proudly serve. Again, our founding partner and CEO, Michael Elias. Cannabis is our contribution to humanity and the evolution of the human condition. For the good of the common citizen, we live to achieve a higher state of humanity. And with that, I will take any questions. And thank you for allowing me the opportunity to give you a little bit of history as to who we are and what we look forward to bringing to the community. Yes?
Jen, I guess I'm a little confused on this micro grant.
Sure.
Give me an example of what kind of organization would get the grant, and then what do they do with the money?
It's designed, depending on which bucket, whether it falls into culture, a startup incubator, or the, oh my gosh, I'm drawing it. Yeah, thank you, community impact. Community impact is the only one that designates a nonprofit organization. The other two are, it's open to anybody. And it really can be on whatever your heart's desire, as long as it's something that's impacting the community in a positive light, that could bring infrastructure, that it's all of the above. You don't have to check all of the boxes, as long as your idea or what you're looking to contribute to the community, if it falls into any of those categories, then apply. So Garrett Hoffman, I think most of you probably know Garrett. When I first had a conversation with him about the micro grants, we encouraged him to apply for some of the different things that he was looking at doing. And I believe that he did. I haven't followed up with Jess to find out. But we just launched this program at the end of May. So it's also a new learning process for us. But I wouldn't, if it's something that's going to actively engage the community or provide resources to anybody or anything that's been underserved, whether it be person, infrastructure, business, we would encourage you to apply. We're looking at all of it. There's really, as long as it's not for you to, pay your mortgage outright, I will tell you that Michael Elias is one of the most generous and kind men I've ever met, and he believes in this cause. He believes in this vision of bringing cannabis for humanity.
I have a couple other questions, too. So that warehouse in Marshall that you have, does that just supply the Live stores, or do you act as a wholesaler, too, and you sell to other retail stores?
We are also a wholesaler.
Okay.
So all of our Common Citizen products, as well as Tyson 2.0, will be available at other stores. Principal is not. That is an exclusive item for sale at our Live location.
So what kind of is there any licensing that other retail stores have to carry the product, or no?
Yeah, so you do have to have a license to sell cannabis.
Okay.
So that would require a state operating license from obviously the state of Michigan, the Cannabis Regulatory Agency. So in order to sell the licensed product here in Michigan, it does require a license. Now, there are some CBD products that can be made available to retailers that don't have a license.
Right.
But anything with THC is going to be regulated through a license.
Okay. I just have one last question, and I'm just curious. Does medical insurance cover any of...
No, it's because it's Schedule I status with the federal government still, they still view it as illegal, unfortunately. There's strides being made on that front, but we're still, I don't think we're not quite there yet.
Okay,
Right?
just curious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question. So with the, for the culture microgrant for arts and culture initiatives, if a small business wanted to do a public art project, is that something they could apply for?
Absolutely, yes, please do. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
All of that. The Oxford Alley project, if they're still looking for funding, it might be an opportunity that they could apply under this for the culture.
Okay. So you're saying that the Oxford DDA could apply for their alleyway?
Anybody can apply,
Oh,
yeah.
all right.
Any organization, yes. And we don't have to reside in that community. We're looking at applications for the betterment of the whole state, not just where we live.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay, thank you very much, Jen. We appreciate your time. This time we have a call to the public. I don't see anyone present. Moving on to consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are approved by one vote. Number 1, Director's Report, page 6. Number 2, Marketing Report, page 21. 3, Committee Minutes and Work Plan and Event Updates, page 25. And 4, Financial Reports, page 38.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 7. By order of the DDA Board Chair, no matters will be discussed after 10:30 p.m. unless the DDA Board votes to continue the meeting. You have a motion?
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 8, financial matters. Number 1, bill approval, page 45 or page 55, depending on when you printed out your packet. This will require a roll call.
Move to approve the disbursements and the bills of $57,090.81 for July 2022.
Support.
Roll call?
Medina? Yes. Cole?
Yes.
Campbell?
Yes.
Barnett?
Yes.
Laurent?
Yes.
Shell?
Yes.
Caruso?
Yes.
Burgess?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 9, new and old business. Number 1, point of sale and online payment system, page 50 or page 60. Molly?
All right. At our last Oktoberfest, we used the village accounting system to take credit cards and payments, and it took a long time. It was not efficient, and we had long lines of people waiting to get in instead of in there enjoying the party and tasting the beer and spending their money and having fun. So we're looking for another way to be more efficient, and we decided that a POS system would be the best way to do this. I'm recommending that we use a separate bank so that we have the event income coming in, and it's very clear that it's event income, and then we transfer it to Oxford Bank to the regular 248 fund. We can use, Oxford Bank doesn't happen to have their own POS system, but we could use Square if everyone wanted us to stay with Oxford Bank. I'm suggesting that we open an event account at PNC Bank. They are a DDA property and business, and they're active in our committees. But basically it would be, we are suggesting that we get 3 different card readers, and that would be 2 card readers for entering into the event, and then a third one to be over where the beer tent is, to kind of create some quicker lines when people are buying tickets. The system that PNC uses is Clover Go. If you look on page 53, buying the actual card readers is a little bit more expensive, but I did talk to Ryan, my office talked to Ryan, and they think that they can get one of those card readers donated to us. And then their processing fees are the lowest of the opportunities that we looked at. So this is for a POS system. It's for card readers that we would use at our events. And with PNC, we would also be able to have a website where we could take credit card payments as well. So that would make it more efficient for people to buy downtown dollars and products that we have for sale, like our banner bags and t-shirts and things like that.
That's a question.
Yes.
I'm confused by the motion. I support this, but it says recommend PNC, and then it says recommend Chase.
Right. I am recommending that we use PNC Bank, but you can see that the startup for Chase Bank is less. But I wanted to note also that when we open this account, the average monthly balance for PNC is $500, and the average daily balance for Chase is $2,000. So when we open the PNC Bank account, we'll pay fees until we get to Oktoberfest, and then Oktoberfest will keep $500 as a balance in that account. But I wanted to offer you both options in case you didn't like what I had to say. You wanted to do it differently. I wanted to provide you two different ways to do the motion.
And we bank with Oxford Bank, right?
We bank with Oxford Bank,
And they don't
yes.
offer this.
They do not.
Okay. Right.
Yes.
Do the readers take Apple Pay and Amazon?
Yeah, they take everything, yeah.
So Molly, is there actually a difference? Would one cost us more than the other? If we went with PNC Bank or if we went with Chase, which one would cost the most to use?
The fees overall will be less with PNC Bank, and also our average daily amount that we need to keep in that account will be lower. The initial buying the card readers will be lower with Chase, but we have to balance that with having to have a higher balance in the account and having higher processing fees.
Can I ask what these fees are again? Not the fees, but the,
They're the,
no, that I know, but what does it cost to get in? And how often, because when you start using cards on any of this, it backs up the line no matter what you do. And from experience in a huge beer tent, taking cash really works well.
But not everyone will have cash.
But they do. It's amazing that they do.
well, okay. I think that you have a valid point. I understand what you're saying, but it took us 10 minutes per transaction every time somebody used a card, and we need to speed that up. That was too long.
That's why you don't use cards. You let them go to an ATM and bring cash. I think I know it's a far better process for processing a lot more people than we're gonna have for the Oktoberfest. And I wanna see it happen, I want them inside fast. And I think you can look at that. The other thing, if you want to do this, is maybe...
Can you move your microphone so people...
Is maybe partnership with the Orion Arts Center. They've got some of this equipment already that you could probably borrow.
Okay.
We need it to link to our own accounts and stuff.
Don't we need a motion to discuss? All right, I will move to set up a bank account at PNC Bank for the purpose of taking credit card transactions during special events and to purchase 3 card reader units not to exceed $457 from 248-729-880014 Oktoberfest.
Support.
Now would you guys like to discuss?
There we go. I have to say, I'm totally in support of this. I have seen, I didn't understand why the DDA couldn't take credit card payment a long time ago. 70% of our transactions at the ice cream shop are credit card.
Right.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I never have cash.
I think
Elena's right. I mean, in our business, you know, especially when it gets into the busy seasons, it's all credit card business. Now, and Hank's right that a lot of people have cash, but a lot of people don't have cash. I mean, that's why they're called credit cards, because they're spending money they don't really have, you know what I mean?
I know, but we have done the card thing many times and experienced what you're talking about. And you put an ATM right outside and you do cash and people fly through. Yeah, you get a couple complaints, but I stand there for 2 straight days and probably had 10 complaints. Just the thought.
Hank, Susie did look for ATMs to rent, and we actually called the Orion Arts Center, and we're having trouble finding ones that we can rent. Did you guys have one? Oh, you haven't had your beer tent this year yet, right?
No, but I'm sure we have a...
I mean, we did ask. Maybe we didn't talk to the right person at the Arts Center, but we were having trouble
I
finding
don't think
it.
anybody at the Arts Center would know. I think you got to go to the promoter, and the promoter will have it.
Hank, I think that the credit card thing is generational. I think anybody under 40 doesn't carry cash. They have no cash on them. I'm telling you right now, no one under 40 carries cash. I always pay cash, but I'm 56.
And I'm 40, so I'm not under 40, and I don't even carry a credit card. I have my phone that I use, so I think that the Clover attaches to the actual bank account, and I use my phone. So I definitely love the ability to use your phone.
I'm not disagreeing with any of you.
Please put the microphone.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with any of you on the need for that.
Right.
But I tell you that that's what we thought till we went to cash, and cash worked.
Right.
And there was no problems. And you're not paying the fees to somebody else.
We pay the fees on the ATM machine, don't we? And
Well, the
pay for the
customer-
rental of it?
But it's this much.
Ah, okay.
So have you saw, like, how fast is a transaction if you're doing it online? Like, if it takes, 6 minutes or 4 minutes, have you tried using it?
It's this one, the one that you
Yeah.
have, you slide it through
So it's
Very fast.
It depends how fast the
Yeah.
internet is downtown Lake Orion, right?
Well, yes.
No, it's on your phone. You don't need
Well,
it.
your cell service, my cell service in Lake Orion isn't perfect, but
We're, keep in mind,
Well-
we are going to have the EV, the electrical vehicle chargers, and those require a router for Wi-Fi. So we're actually
perfect.
going to be in the perfect spot to make those work.
It's good.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, could we have a roll call, please?
Caruso,
Yes.
Shell,
Yes.
Lorant,
No.
Arnett,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Medina, Burgess.
Yes,
Motion passed.
thank you. Moving on to a parking study update, page 54 or page 64.
All right, we had a parking study done in 2018. That was right before Bitter Tom's opened, before Out Soda opened, before Wine Social expanded, before 120 South Broadway opened with the residential, and before we purchased the Slater Street parking lot. So it is time to get an update. We put it out to bid. We had 2 businesses respond with proposals. It was Fishback and Rich and Associates. Fishback formerly was WGI. So we got the parking deck feasibility study done by formerly Fishback, which when it was WGI, and then our parking study, the one that was most recently done, was done by Rich and Associates. The interviewers, you can see their comments on on the memo that's after the overview. I recommend that we go with Rich and Associates, and that is also the recommendation by the interview team.
Madam Chair, I move that we hire Rich and Associates to conduct a parking study update not to exceed $10,570 from Fund 248-730-975-006, DDA Capital Outlay Parking.
Support.
Any discussion? Yes.
So I'm just looking at their peak days of traffic count. Thursday, Friday, no weekends. I'm just curious why they only picked the Thursday and Friday and not a weekend, since Saturdays are probably pretty busy downtown, maybe more than Thursday.
They said that they take she called it a kind of a crossover day of the week, where it is not as busy as Monday, the beginning of the week, Monday and Tuesday, but it's also not as busy as Saturday, so that they get a good average of what we don't typically want to make our parking study based on our busiest day. We want to take our average day, so that during the middle of the week, we haven't wasted money by having way too much parking, just so that we have enough on Saturday. So that's the idea.
So I always found the problem with downtown is it says we have enough parking. We don't have enough parking downtown. And it's because on busy days, we don't have enough parking downtown. On a Monday, we've got enough parking downtown. On a Saturday, there's not enough parking downtown. On a Friday night, there's not enough parking downtown. So the whole problem is if they don't see the busiest day, they may be missing the big picture of we don't have enough parking downtown.
Anybody else?
I mean, should we amend the motion in case we want to give them another night to do, to pick a weekend night, so that, it was significantly less than Fishback. It's a third of the price.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's huge difference. I don't think that, yeah.
And I reviewed the proposals not with the committee, but when we opened them, and I agree with this recommendation, but maybe we leave it out there where we can talk to them and maybe have them pick a weekend night also.
You can pick one weekend, they'll see how busy it is.
Are you comfortable with that, Molly?
Yeah, they put it in the proposal that what it would cost to add a day. I don't have that in front of me, but you guys do.
My iPad died, so I can't. So I would just amend my motion to say, hire Rich and Associates to conduct a parking study with the base not to exceed the 10,570 with the funds coming from that account, with the option for the DDA director to add an additional day per the quote.
Support.
Does that make sense? So we can talk to them, talk about it a little bit, and see.
You're
And I
asking-
did see it. I did
You're
see-
asking me to ask them to add a day.
Well, it was in there as, and my iPad just died, but it was in there as, like you said, we could add it. I just can't tell you what that price is,
It's
so,
1,650 per day.
perfect. Thank you.
So that's still within our 15,000, so we could say not to exceed 15,000 and be okay.
Perfect. I'm going to amend my motion for a second time, not to exceed 15,000. Lloyd, do you amend your support?
Support.
All right.
Okay, any more discussion?
Thank you, Matt.
Roll call, please.
Do you want to vote on each amendment, or do you just want to vote on the overall?
I think you can vote on the overall, because I am withdrawing my previous two. I just amended it to be the final. Is that okay? Mr. Coe, are you good with that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Campbell.
Yes.
Poe.
Yes.
Medina. Burgess.
Yes.
Caruso.
Yes.
Shell.
Yes.
Laurent.
Yes.
Barnett.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to number 3, parking deck engineering and design, page 115 or page 125.
Okay, we put this project out to bid, and we again received 2 responses from businesses. Both were Rich and Associates and Fishbeck. They both had a complete project. They both told us that we were going to be able to get this done both ways. However, this is a contract, and if we agree to go with one of these businesses, we will be getting a design and parking deck for the location that we specified in our contract. So for this reason, I feel that we should receive and file this at this time, and if we come back and decide that this is the location that we are interested in, then we bring this back and vote to hire somebody, but not today.
Motion to receive and file.
Second.
All in favor? Oh, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, moving on to number 4, approval of dumpster enclosure construction, RFQ page 222 or 232.
This request is for construction of a community dumpster to be built on the northwest corner of the parking lot, which is located at Front and Anderson. This is one of 2 enclosures planned. Let me get to the dates here. The proposals are going to be due on August 18th, and they will be opened on August 19th. I believe I'm looking for an alternate to open those proposals on August 19th. And then I'm also looking for a minimum of 3 people to evaluate, which we will do on the August 22 to 26. I'm not positive we're going to need interviews, but I do want someone to come and at least evaluate, even if we don't have them come in and present. So I've asked for an additional thing in addition to what's on the recommended motion. The recommended motion, I'm asking for 3 people to evaluate, but I'm also asking for an alternate to open the bids.
Lloyd?
I'll do it.
You'll open, okay. So this is a Friday at noon. Okay, thank you.
And you still need 3 board members, correct?
I do.
Any volunteers?
Okay.
for Friday at noon?
No, this is for the evaluation and interviews, which will take place the week of August 22 to August 26. The DDA office will contact the 3 people and schedule a convenient time, well, as convenient as we can make it for the 3 people involved.
I can do it.
Thank you.
Need one more?
Give me the dates again, please.
August 22 to 26. There's one board member who's not here if you want to volunteer him, or we can have Debbie do it. Debbie volunteered.
I like the idea. Let's see how that flies.
Okay. We'll make Ken the alternate, see how that goes. Okay. Thank you. So now the recommended motion would be to approve the publication of the dumpster enclosure construction RFQ and to appoint Sally Medina, Elena Campbell, Debbie Burgess, and alternate Ken Van Portfleet to the evaluation and interview team.
Motion to do what Molly said.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. On to reports, resolutions, and recommendations. Executive Director?
Okay. Fogler's today donated flowers. You can find new pots in the alleyway and also in front of the DDA offices. I want to thank Fogler's for thinking of us, and they are beautiful flowers. On August 3rd, the Michigan Downtown Association is hosting a Stronger Together downtown soiree to benefit downtown Holly. It will take place in both Lake Orion and Oxford. In Lake Orion, we will be on the patio at Fork and Pint, and there will be appetizers there, and directors and other staff from downtown programs will be attending. And then they will take the trolley, the Live-sponsored trolley, to Oxford, where they will enjoy themselves starting at 6:30 in the alleyway, and there's a car show that's happening that night in Oxford. And then, as you all know, we have our Lake Orion Live concerts, and on August 3rd it is the Bravette who will be there. This is like I said, it's to benefit downtown Holly. So all of those directors who are coming for the Michigan Downtown Association event are being asked to bring silent auction items that we will give to Nick Klump, who is the executive director in Holly. The executive director is planning on the 13th of August. They have a large benefit planned to help restore, and I may not have said, but downtown Holly had a huge fire, and it has damaged buildings in Battle Alley, which is their iconic downtown center. And I'm very pleased that Michigan Downtown Association has chosen Oxford and Lake Orion to host this event. And if there is any business who would like to donate a silent auction item, I am happy to collect those. You can bring them to the DDA office. On the last few pages of the director's report, you will see a report from the design committee about our lighting. Thanks to some quick calls by the Orion Township supervisor, we were able to get after months of trying and not making any headway, we got an electrician who came in and did a retrofit for us at the corner of Front and Broadway, and he put in different lights there. You can see the details in the report. We now have a plan that we can move on, and the design committee will meet and we'll decide what the next steps are, but we finally made some progress. What they found when they measured, and Lloyd was present at the time, so he can give us more details, but they found that there's a 50% increase based on the lights, a 50% increase between the lamp posts, and then a 30% increase at the lamp post. So it's definitely an improvement, and he has some suggestions for lights that are kind of ring-shaped and only point downwards if we're going to have, that we can place in lamp posts that are near residential, and then he has a suggestion for some that are variable, so that in a well-lighted area, we can have less wattage, and in darker areas like parking lots, we can have more wattage. So it sounds very flexible, and I'm delighted that we've gotten this far. And then last, we've been, it was announced on Monday that we were awarded a grant from Locable, and Locable is a company that uses kind of a community blog situation, so that, and a community calendar, so that all the businesses can place their events and their articles or any press releases on the Locable platform, and we can pick it up and stick it into our newsletters, and we can pick it up and put it on our social media. It's a very seamless way, and all the businesses can do that for each other. And we received a grant. There's a $5,000 program, and we have to do a match of $1,300, but it's a program that I will give you more details on later. I am very excited. The company created a book called Marketing 345, and it's a business owner's guide to effective local marketing in 15 minutes or less. Social media marketing in particular is something that businesses have indicated they'd like some more knowledge on. So I'm very excited about this program. And thank you very much to Locable for granting us their program. And lastly, October 8th, at the Village Council meeting, Main Street, Oakland County, and Genesis will be awarding Oats Soda, Lake Orion, with their startup grant. And then also on that same day, we will be receiving our accreditation presentation or certificate for being accredited as a Main Street community. And that's August 8th. Village Council, right here, 7:30.
August or October?
August. And that is all. Thank you.
Call to the public. I don't see anyone there. Great. Moving on to board comments and training feedback.
I just want to say that it was a great pleasure to work with Joe Young for many years, and saw him this weekend, chatted with him briefly, but he was an incredible asset to our village, and he will be missed. That's it for me tonight.
I would say the same thing. I worked with Joe on many projects, Dragon on the Lake, the flower show, and making things happen. And he's a guy that always said yes and got it done. So thanks, Joe.
Thanks as well to Joe, and thanks to our presenters today. I would encourage anyone that can to apply for those grants and keep that money local. And thanks to Molly and her team for all their hard work.
Yeah, ditto with Joe. I always see Joe walk around town, like simple things like picking up trash, looking around things, just kind of cleaning things up, and it's his hometown, so it's pretty cool. I appreciate him doing the great work he's done for the past years. And I also was driving by in the marina there and saw that I think we have the docks there for the police station, the police and fire, and they're covered. Was that funded by the DDA?
Yes, the police docks have been installed, or police and fire docks that were funded by the DDA have been installed, yes.
So our TIF money is being used wisely for the village. That's awesome. So between that TIF money now we have the docks, we have all the other things we've done. We contribute a lot of money back with our TIF money to the village of Lake Orion, which I'm proud we can do that. So it's awesome. They look nice.
Ditto what everybody said about Joe Young. I see him walking around town picking up trash too with his cute little puppy dog. He's done so much, and we know we'll still see him, which is wonderful in the community. But kudos to him for all that he did for us. And just a little, send up a prayer for Guy Higgins. We all know Guy, who's one of our Lake Orion police officers, who's in hospice and needs all our love.
Same about Joe. I can't say enough good things about working with Joe, and he was just always really attentive and concerned whenever I called him about anything, whether I called him about our business or we live in the village also, so when we've had problems there, he just, just a great guy, so I really hate to see him leave. I'd also like to, a lot of you guys probably haven't met Joe Mansour, but he's been helping the design committee, with the lighting project, and he works with DTE, and the guy's great. I mean, he's a hard worker, and he's really helping us, get everything together, so just want to thank him.
Madam Chair, can I say one more thing?
Yes.
I meant to say this and I forgot to, but I want to say thanks to Lloyd because I saw him out there volunteering his time, walking around, testing lights and doing whatever he was doing. So yeah, I mean, he's down there. Lloyd does pretty much everything, so thank you.
Well, first off, I just want to thank Mr. Barnett for reaching out to the electrician so that we could move forward. Really appreciate the collaboration and the assistance that you provide the village, because we have been able to move forward on many projects because we've been able to call you, and you've always been there to help us move forward. So thank you publicly very, very much. I appreciate that. I also, Mr. Joe Young, if you are watching tonight, I want you to know that your DDA board chair wants you to know that you have been greatly appreciated. And I'm so grateful for the privilege and the opportunity that you gave me to spend 2 years under your mentorship. Every single week. You never missed a week. And I am so grateful for that opportunity. And I hope I do you proud, because you are a great man. And this community is better because of your love for this community. And so we just want you to know that we understand you are focusing on getting healthy, but I want you to know your phone is going to continue to ring, because we greatly, greatly appreciate your friendship, your leadership, and your mentorship. So now at this time, yes?
Yes. On July 27th, there is an open house here at the Village Council offices at 3 p.m. We are celebrating the retirement of Joe Young. Please come. I want to thank all of the restaurants and food service industries there in downtown. Everyone is contributing to that party. If there's any person who has something they want to contribute, please contact the DDA office. I want you to know this is hosted by the village. This is definitely hosted by the village, but as Debbie mentioned, Joe Young has been integral and so important to the DDA, and we appreciate him so much. And I got to see him today. He's in good spirits. It was so nice to see him. He donated bubble wands for the Lake Orion Live concerts, which is tomorrow. And tomorrow, it's going to be AJ, Lee, and Blue Summit. These are, this year, we're doing the nationally touring artists. The first, we had rain, so there was a concert, but it wasn't a typical concert. We had good weather on the 6th. There was over 500 people here. And if you remember, in the past, we averaged over 300, but we never averaged over 500. So I'm very encouraged, and I invite everybody to come out and enjoy those concerts. But July 27th at 3 o'clock, please come here and celebrate with Joe on his retirement.
You said 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock, yes.
Okay, may I please have a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of discussing real estate purchase permitted by Section 15.26AD of the Open Meeting Act? The motion to go into closed session requires a roll call and must have a supermajority, which for the DDA Board is 6 yeas.
So moved.
Support.
Roll call?
Shell,
Yes.
Lorant,
Yeah.
Barnett,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Poe,
Yes.
Medina. Yes. Burgess.
Yes.
Caruso.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Let's go into closed session.